Hello YouTubers, it's been over a month since the last Tuesday video, and I am very sorry for that. But, fortunately my exams are done, so I have nothing to study for today, so I can do this week's Tuesdays with Nick. Roll the intro. Nothing much happened, really, in the 3 to 4 weeks since the last Tuesday video. Nothing really important happened, but I guess I started watching Archer. So without further ado, let's start with the questions. This question really shows how long it's been since the last Tuesday video. What do you think of the following new trailers? Batman v Superman? I think it's awesome. I think DC definitely knows what they're doing with their movies right now. While Marvel is going for maybe a more fun, family-friendly, DC is definitely going with the more dark and gritty. I don't know why that's a bad thing, but yeah, they're definitely going the more dark route for their movies, and I think that's going to be great, because if we had two fun, family-friendly film franchises going around, it'd just be a big mess. So it's good that that DC is definitely trying to be the opposite of Marvel. And I think they're succeeding so far. Fantastic Four? Yep, I think it's gonna be great as well. I like the way that they've spoiled everything except for who the bad guy's gonna be. The way that they should get their powers, it looks interesting, and the film itself looks great. I was a bit about the casting of the film, but it actually looks pretty good so far. And it also shows that maybe Fox is maybe starting their own cinematic universe, but I doubt it. All they've got is X-Men, Fantastic Four, and the upcoming Deadpool movie. So, and Gambit, but that classifies as X-Men. Ant-Man. Yep. Yeah. It's another Marvel movie. It's one that I've actually been excited for a while. So let's hope they don't screw it up. Paul Rudd looks good as Scott Lang. Michael Douglas looks good as Hank Pym. And Star Wars Episode 7: The Force Awakens. Of course, I'm excited for that. You should have seen my face when I first watched that trailer. I'm talking about the second trailer, so the one with the Harrison Ford at the end of it. And that was awesome. That bit, that trailer is just gonna blow all the minds nerds, and probably it has. I mean everyone's seen it now. And the movie itself is just gonna be awesome. If the movie's as awesome as the trailer, then we're in for a massive treat this Christmas. Do you think the Avengers would be better if they included the Ant-Man side of Ultron rather than the path they decided to take and not include that backstory? The way that they did it was very clever. They managed to like not completely rewrite a character's backstory, but they managed to rewrite a villain's backstory, but keep it coherent with the already existing universe. So, the way that they made it so that they didn't have to bring in a brand new character to do so was alright. If they had already had Ant-Man in the Avengers, they would have obviously gone with the backstory that he has in the comic books. And honestly, I feel like it makes more sense for Hank Pym to create Ultron because of the fact that, he's a super genius and he spends his spare time making robots instead of robot suits. But with the way that they're going in the movies, they're making Iron Man look like a genius the genius that he isn't really in the books. In the books, Iron Man doesn't create all these robots that he's making in Avengers 2. So, I feel like if they did it right, the Ant-Man side of Age of Ultron would have been great. But the way that they're going now is it's all right. But I feel like the only problem with having changing comic book backstories is that the people who don't read the comic books are not interested in the comics, kind of. Not to the point where they would start reading them, but would probably assume that's how it went down in the comics. So, yeah, that's really my only problem. That and lack of faithful adaptation, but that comes with adapting a book into a movie. P.S. This. Update on the Revolution situation, please. Unfortunately, I don't have any followers for my revolution against the government, but hopefully, sometime soon, we will have an uprising big enough to destroy the world. Or make it better, yes, make it better. Or do I? If you had to have only one power from the Avengers movies, which power would you have? That's a pretty good question, because only you limited it to the movies, so I can't pick any of the OP people from the books. If you mean just the Avengers, I'd probably go with Vision. He can go through things, can shoot energy blasts, he can fly, he's really strong, and he can lift Thor's hammer. So that's pretty epic. But if you're not limiting it to just the Avengers, I would like to have the Infinity Gauntlet. Although Thanos doesn't have all the gems yet. So, does that count? I feel like it can. And now for a movie review! I am reviewing the 2013 or 2014 film Enemy. Enemy is directed by Denis Villeneuve. If that's how you pronounce it, I'm sorry, I'm not French. He is the director of Prisoners. You'd probably know that movie more than you would know Enemy. But Enemy centers around Jake Gyllenhaal, who plays a history teacher. He watches this movie and sees in the background an actor who looks exactly like him. And he researches this man to try and track him down. That's really all I can give you. Okay, that's like the basicest plot that you could go for this movie. And this movie is magnificent. It's extremely well shot. Just the cinematography is astounding, and the spider imagery is very eerie. Like, this movie creates a very eerie atmosphere throughout the whole thing. There's a lot of references to spiders, whether they're literally showing a spider or showing maybe some wires that look like a web. And the dream sequences are quite strange as well. And this is not one of those movies that you can just watch and be done with it. You're gonna want to know everything about it. You're gonna want to know all the interpretations that people have of it. You're gonna want to go online and read all the stuff about it, like after watching Fight Club or something like that. This is not your traditional movie, and honestly, it's not for the mainstream either. Like most of the films that I review, this movie is not for everyone. But this movie is great. It's a great movie. Probably one of the best of last year, and I maybe would have put it on the honorable mentions, or maybe even on the list of best films of 2014, or even 2013, if I made one. Enemy has Jake Gyllenhaal playing two characters, and he is great as both of them. He is just a fantastic actor, and just actastic. This movie also has Melanie Laurent as history teacher Jake Gyllenhaal's girlfriend, and Sarah Gadon as actor Jake Gyllenhaal's pregnant wife. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this movie as much as I can without spoiling anything. I thought it was great, the cinematography is great, the story, while simple, is executed spectacularly. So I'm gonna give Enemy an 8 out of 10. Yeah, let me know what you thought about Enemy in the comment section below. Put a question in the comment section below, and I will see you next episode of whatever it is that I decide to make. Bye!